Has Jose Mourinho already failed at Tottenham? Is success on the way for Mourinho at the club? And how can this situation be turned around? Let's take a deeper look at that. Starting with a look at their recent form then, they've had one win in 4 matches. That was a 2-0 win away at Aston Villa. The other results in those 4 matches was a 2-1 loss to Arsenal, a really poor 3-0 loss to Dinamo Zagreb, and then that most recent 2-2 draw against Newcastle United. Now there was criticism coming Mourinho's way before the 2-2 draw to Newcastle, where Newcastle were able to have 22 shots. That is the joint most amount of shots Newcastle have had in one Premier League match. It's actually joint with their match against Leeds United, where you'd expect Newcastle to probably have quite a few more shots. Leeds are a team that are quite open and you can have shots against them. However, Tottenham shouldn't be that team. With the Mourinho side, you expect them to be compact, but this match was totally the opposite. Recent results in their form has sort of backed up what has been said on the Athletic reports, which we're going to get to later on. So with the poor form, the negativity and criticism surrounding the club at the moment, let's look at it straight away. Is Jose Mourinho the right man for the club at the moment? The goal of all these big 6 sides is to be the best in the Premier League, is to win the league. You saw Chelsea make the move to get Thomas Tuchel to be the best and to try and win the league again. Liverpool made that move quite a while back now to get Jurgen Klopp to be the best again. And Tottenham brought in Mourinho to try and be the best, to try and progress the team. So Liverpool were able to do that with Klopp. I think Chelsea are on the right track to try and do that under Tuchel. Let's say that Tottenham are looking to win the league in 2 to 4 years. Right now, would you be saying Jose Mourinho is the right man to do that at Tottenham? The signs right now aren't great, and we know where this situation usually ends up for Mourinho. With that being said, the answer would be no. What's the point in keeping Jose Mourinho when you know how it's going to end up? However, you can't be too reactionary. They are 6th in the league right now. There's still a chance that they can get Champions League football, and there's still a chance of them winning a trophy with the EFL Cup. That is really the reason why Jose Mourinho was brought to Tottenham, to win a trophy. So let's say either one of those happens. If they finish in the top 4 or they win a trophy, I think he stays at the club. I think after that, the situation of him staying at the club then comes down to the transfers that he would make. And I think this is the biggest thing in turning the situation around at Tottenham at the moment. You see, last summer, they were able to bring in Hojbjerg from Southampton, and I think he's a perfect example of a Mourinho transfer. A player that he wanted with the right mentality and personality, and a player in a really important position for how he wants to play football. And he's been brilliant. His performances really have been great, and he's recently been named my underrated player at Tottenham. If you've seen the Amazon documentary of Tottenham, you would have heard that Mourinho said in there that he wanted Tottenham to be a bunch of something that I can't say on YouTube. But using another word, he was basically saying he wanted his players to not be kind, to get stuck in, to really go at the opposition, and I think this is exactly what he signed in Hojbjerg. I think with more signings like Hojbjerg, which are exactly the style of player Mourinho wants, then progression will slowly but surely be made. In my previous video, I looked at how teams have improved or not improved so much compared to last season at this stage. Tottenham are currently on 7 points more than last season after 30 matches played. So in terms of points on the board from the very start of the season to now, they are doing better. However, it has to be said that the start of season form is heavily influential in these statistics, because also where they've been better is the amount of goals scored and the amount of goals conceded. Last season after 30 played, it was 48 scored and 41 conceded. Now it's 51 scored and 32 conceded. When we look into those stats a bit more to see who scored the goals, of course Kane and Son are leading the way by a lot. The best scorer after them in the Premier League for Tottenham is Gareth Bale, and he's only played 558 minutes. After him comes Moura and Ndombele, who are both on 3 goals each. Also last season, with 8 goals and 4 assists, was Dele Alli. At that point, he was still a useful player for them. However, this season it just hasn't happened at all, with 0 goal contributions in the Premier League. And he's a player who's been the victim of player fallouts under Jose Mourinho when he's in charge. We saw this at Manchester United, and it's happened with Dele Alli at Tottenham. As much as Mourinho doesn't like Dele Alli and Dele Alli doesn't like Mourinho, he was still a useful player for them last season. So when I say he wants to bring in his own players and the right transfers have to be made, I think this is the perfect example. It's not working for Dele under Mourinho, so move on. Bring in a replacement, someone that Mourinho likes that can influence the attacking play, because that is what they need. Right now they're too reliant on Kane and Son, and they need someone like Dele Alli back in that team. I think the style of play that we see with Mourinho in charge can work, but with the right players. Right now he's still got a squad that were enjoying faster attacking football under Mauricio Pochettino. I read on The Athletic how players aren't enjoying the training and how defensively focused the football is under Mourinho. So right now with these players, I don't think the future looks great. If they've got that on their minds already, I don't think they're going to change their opinion, and that is really how the situation at the club continues to decline. They're clearly not enjoying their time at the club with him in charge, and I'm not sure that will change. So the only way that you change this is with new players and having a revamp of the squad. When you look at Jose's time at Manchester United, signing Lukaku and having Rashford on the left is similar to what he's building with Kane and Son. A strong striker who can hold up the ball and score a lot of goals at the same time. It's worked better with Harry Kane in the squad because I think he's more open to playing in this role. I'm not sure if Lukaku enjoyed it as much. So the team he's building is similar at both clubs, but the backing didn't really come to United. The lack of a centre-back being signed proved that. And he needs it here at Tottenham too, not because the quality of players isn't that great, but because they aren't suited to this system and they don't enjoy this style. Let's have a look at the answers that we got on Discord then. If you want to join the Discord server, the link is in the description. And I think I might do these Discord debates more. If you've got any topics that you want me to discuss and you to get involved in, leave them in the comments. Let's begin here with 9th Codebreaker. He says, I think he can still succeed, but they massively need new players who can buy into his methods 100%. The squad needs an overhaul apart from Kane and Son and a few others. They need to buy more players like Højbjerg, Roden, Reguilon who can actually contribute consistently. Don't bring back Bale, his massive wages aren't worth it and should be spent elsewhere. There's a reason why he's been relatively successful everywhere except from Spurs. The players just aren't that great. Poch massively overachieved with this squad. The start of what you've said here is very similar to what I explained. The transfers will really decide what happens in the future. I think I agree with the point that you've made on Gareth Bale as well. I think it was just sort of the transfers for Tottenham to make last summer that would just make the fans happy. They brought in Mourinho, then they get in Gareth Bale. For them it was just, wow, amazing, everything's coming back together, everything's going to be great, but it just hasn't really been that way. The next comment here says, from my perspective, I don't believe he will succeed as it's fairly evident that most of the team and him don't click and connect properly this season. But I won't deny the presence of top players like Son and Kane have been great this season. It seems that people are thinking the same way. It's clear that the players aren't exactly on board with what Mourinho wants to do, and the only way to progress at Tottenham is to move on from these players. Revamp that squad and bring in players that will enjoy playing under Jose Mourinho. But of course, it's not as easy as that, especially this summer transfer window with everything happening financially. This comment from KimmyHead20 says, realistically speaking, Mourinho can improve them. The main problem at Spurs is the environment. Like, most of the players have been here for a long time and haven't won any trophies to keep them motivated and play at a higher level. And to be honest, some of the players aren't good. Refreshment is something they need, and I think Mourinho under proper backing and freedom can turn things around. If they want to be a great club, they need some trophies, and if Mourinho can't give them that, I can't see anybody else winning them trophies. Harsh word by Kimmy, saying that they've not won any trophies. It is true, but that is the main reason why Jose came in charge, and he's got a great chance of doing that this season still. Where you say that a lot of the players have been here for a long time and haven't won any trophies to keep them motivated, I think they're not winning any trophies is what should make them motivated. You know, when you look at Liverpool and they hadn't won a Premier League, that was their motivation to win a Premier League. They hadn't won the Champions League. That was their motivation to win their first Champions League. So I'm not sure about winning something to get them motivated. I think they should be motivated already. That's what they should be looking at when making the transfers. If players haven't won trophies before, that's not a bad thing. That's their motivation to come and win trophies under Mourinho. Calais has said, as a Chelsea fan, this is very reminiscent of Mourinho's later seasons where things began to fall apart. However, if I take away the bias, it looks to me as if things are falling in place. Spurs are in a cup final and challenging for top 4, something any team wishes to do. Sure, they were knocked out the Europa League, but that may give them the push to qualify for the Champions League. I expect Jose to keep pushing, and if they don't win a cup or get top 4, changes need to be made at the club, not including the manager. I think they at least need one of those things, winning a cup or top 4. If they don't get any, then I think the board make an easy decision to remove Jose Mourinho. Possibly they'd give him the start of next season to see how he starts a new season fresh with new players. I think that would make sense, but then you're probably looking at October, November for his departure. Things can be blown out of proportion a lot. Like, as you say, they are challenging for top 4, they are in a cup final. The negative reactions really just coming from the happiness of the players, and when they lose a game it's made a little bit worse because of the style of play. Ali has said, Mourinho is done out there. His tactics and way of management are out of date. He relies on individuals to bail him out like Kane and Son. They've been doing it all season. He will get top 6 and maybe a Carabao Cup, but I can't see Spurs getting back to where they were under Poch. What you've said at the end there really does go back to what I said at the start. Because we haven't seen a situation with Mourinho previously where he's been able to turn this situation around, it just seems inevitable that sometime this year he will leave Tottenham and they can't get back to where they were under Poch with Mourinho. Where you've said his tactics and management are out of date, I'm not sure I do agree with that too much. Like I say, with the right players, I think this style of play can work. So let's see in the summer, that's if Mourinho's there at least, what signings they can make. So comment down below your opinions on this topic. I recommend that you don't miss out on future videos. Subscribe to Route 1 and like the video if you did enjoy.